But the hardest, I would have to say, John Terry, the hardest worker. I think I joined the club. I think John was 18, and he was already outstanding for how hard he worked at his game. Very talented, but he made the most out of every talent that he had. Extra training every day, every session was 100%. So he stands out as the hardest trainer. The person who wasn't the best trainer but turned on a match day was Ricky Carvalho. Back in the day, he was quite often in the medical room in the week, getting a massage. Didn't train maybe at full pelt during the week, but come game day, could defend against anybody and was a great player. Always early for training was Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole was always the first in the building. He lived pretty close by, but he was always there for breakfast early, would be preparing, whether it be in the gym or whether it be in the physio room, and again, probably the last to leave. So he had a great dedication, Ashley, how he works every day, so he was always there first. Late for training, I remember at Chelsea, Nicolas Anelka was always, I wouldn't say he was late for training, but he was like on the last second that you could be there. Like literally every day, he got the knack of getting there at literally the last moment, occasionally late, but he was the one that I remember always stepping in at the last moment. The most skillful player at Chelsea would be Eden Hazard. I think I was fortunate enough to play with Zola when I first got there. Players like Joe Cole had tremendous skill, but I think Eden Hazard, as in skill that he took onto the pitch and could just do magic out of nowhere, for me he was the outstanding one. I'll tell you who never gave the ball away, John Obi Mikel. Played with him in the Champions League final, in lots of important games for Chelsea. Not only good at winning the ball back, but he was very simple and classy on the ball, played a simple pass, and I think didn't give it away much. John Terry, I don't think I have to tell you that. John Terry was always up for a tackle, whether it be a big game where he had to throw in a big tackle or the beginning of training in the warm-up, five-a-sides in training. John was always game. He tackled with his head, he didn't care. Playing jokes, David Luiz, I would say. David Luiz came into the club, didn't speak any English, but learned English in about 3 weeks because he was such a good mixer, always joking, friends of everybody, having a laugh. Not a practical joker as such, but always in good form and joking with everybody, so David Luiz. Fastest player at Chelsea over the years, I'd probably say would be a good race between Nicolas Anelka and Arjen Robben when he was at Chelsea. I think they were both lightning quick. I wish I had some of their pace. John Terry. I'm mentioning John too much. He managed to go, as you probably remember, in goal against Reading in the game where Peter Cech got badly injured. Carlo Pedicini then got injured and John went in goal, but that was nothing new. We would go to warm up and John would go in goal and we'd all smash balls at him for like 15 minutes before training started, so that was his thing. He'd get the gloves on and do it properly, and he was actually pretty good. Ivanovic. Yeah, Branislav Ivanovic was quite aggressive in the way he played, but he hated that in training. He took it as a normal game, and he would be upset with a refereeing decision which would have been done by one of the coaches, or whenever he lost he'd be upset with his teammates. So in a good way, very strong players, I think you know, but he was very determined in training and would not be shy for a moment. Always wanted Didier Drogba on my team. Didier Drogba was the man for big occasions, playing in proper games, obviously, in the cup finals, etc. But I think even in training, he had the all-round game and the magic and the strength, and actually personality was always up for it. So he will be one of the first on my sheet.